Alright, so we're out here with the 73 Wild Westerner this evening. Um, Spent the majority of today mostly detailing. I was scheming to install these jalousies into the side windows, but I mocked one up after I spent 4 hours polishing and cleaning it to make it look presentable, and it looked like trash. Um, so I'm probably going to follow through and hunt down a set of 78, 79 sliders. And then that window, the rear side window, I'm just going to do a solid window because no one's going to be riding back there anyway. Yeah, so I know this is your guys' first time seeing this thing in video. Um, it's not bad. Um, I did get to spend a little bit of time with some paint thinner. I stripped back some of the brown around the headlights, and it looks pretty good actually. I got to keep going. That was some time spent. I did that to the bumper too. You can see where it's now just down to bare metal because they primed it. I put new windshield wipers on because I'm a geek and I like little stuff like that. It's actually, yeah, so waiting on my first order of parts to come in from CIP. It's got all the tune-up stuff. But I did change the oil last weekend on Sunday night before I parked it. Put in 3.5 quarts of Rotella 1540 with all that fun stuff. The oil that I drained out was pretty clean. It was dark, but I didn't find any particulate matter in it, so I have pretty good feelings about this engine. I spent a substantial portion of the time I had the engine running today trying to get it tuned better. I tried to re-baseline it and set it up better, and I actually got it to a point where it'll start up and idle at 7 to 900. It actually sounds pretty good. I pulled the shifter because I got it running well enough to where I can get it going and need to shift into second because I have a big circular driveway around the house. It's dark out, so you can't see that. But I discovered that it didn't really want to downshift from third into second. And I pulled the shifter out because I was thinking, oh, maybe it's just the plate's really worn because this thing's pushing 250,000 miles on most of these components. And I discovered that there was no grease in the cup and ball. So I filled the cup and ball with grease, and it's now butter smooth, and I don't have the second gear lockout problem anymore, which is great. Still don't have low beams, still don't have turn signals, still don't have four ways. Windshield wipers work now because they're hooked up. So yeah, right now I'm just stalled out waiting on parts. Probably going to place another order tonight of a door seal kit, front and rear windshield and rear windshield seals in Cal-Look style, not the deluxe style, because I actually like the just bare bones transporter look. And then I'll get the correct side, the two side windows and the slider window seals, so when those arrive I can get those in. Maybe I'll do a startup for you guys. Hopefully it'll start. I did a little bit of driving. I put like a mile on it today. I can't take it out on the street because I don't have it registered and the tires are garbage and it doesn't have very good lights. Oh, and the brakes are starting to work better. Big shocker. I think it was really just because the rotors had rusted over. And the vacuum booster is definitely working well because I can hear it when you push on the brakes. You can hear the vacuum, and you can see it when the engine gets close to stall, and you can see the brake light come on. Yeah, that's really it. Oh, I want to show this to you guys because I'm curious what your experiences have been. This area on both sides is completely rotted out. As you can see, the skin isn't bad. It's still sound, there's a hole there, but I don't need to necessarily fix that. It's more of a, this needs to get fixed, because if I'm going to daily this thing, I can't have water splashing up in there. CIP1 sells a patch panel for both sides. Has anyone used that? This is the rust area of concern. It does have a little bit of rocker crust. You guys might be able to see that. That's the worst spot right there. Someone tried to expandable foam it and it's all soft. But it's actually not too bad. If you just look at it, the jack points are still mint. It's definitely, it needs its fair share of love, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. Oh, and I spent some time redoing my gas pedal again, because last weekend when I got it running, the first thing I did, of course, I tried to drive it, and the gas pedal was completely seized, and the hinge was rusted off. So I took a piece of piano hinge, and I put a couple holes, 2 little self-tapping screws in the floor and 2 in the pedal, and I had it hooked up so I could just drive it around. But the problem was it wanted to flex under my foot. So I had my dad come out, and he looked at it from underneath, and we figured out that I need to move the pedal forward to account for the amount I had cut off the bottom that was rotted. So now it stands up nice and straight, as you guys might be able to see, as well as it works pretty good. Yeah, so I guess maybe I'll try and fire it up for you, because I know that's what y'all really want to see. Oh, I'll show you my barren rear interior currently. They put this, the previous owners had this funky carpet in the back that I think they ordered from Mid-American Motorworks in the 80s, back when it was the bus stop, because it's actually got a cutout in the carpet for the hatch to open, so you can actually just fold the carpet back a little bit. It's pretty neat. But yeah, so I guess I'll do a fire up, maybe take it around for a lap. Get in here, not punch a hole in the floor, because that edge is rotted. Roll the window up. I'm gonna roll the window up because it's a little chilly out. I do need to get a new driver's door latch mechanism. This piece here, this handle, as you can see, it's got a ridiculous amount of play. It does still open from the inside. It's just worn beyond belief. Okay, we're neutral. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see? Lights work. Give it a couple pumps. Fires right up. And it's quiet. You guys can probably not even hear that. So let's take it around for a quick lap, because I know you love that kind of stuff. If it's in reverse, yeah, found reverse. Turn on my headlights. Actually never done this in a manual car before. I've done eBay listing videos where I can, so I can show how the car actually is. But I've never actually done this, just a driving video. So, okay, let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't stall it. It is a little finicky, I've noticed. I think the power valve is sticking, because it does take a little bit, and once the flat spot goes away, it's actually very drivable. It's got plenty of power. surprisingly good. Like, I'm honestly impressed. It doesn't miss that badly, and it's running on questionable corroded points. Pull back in the garage here. Hopefully not hit the 21 window. Yeah, let me show you guys the actual engine. It's surprisingly good for a progressive in the winter. That was about a cold start, and it hadn't run in 2 hours. And it doesn't really ice up bad either. Drop light so y'all can see this. It actually is running surprisingly well, as you guys can probably hear. Yeah. You can see right there my sketchy wood battery tray. I currently don't have a metal replacement. That's the other thing that's got to be fixed. Let me shut this off so I don't accidentally kill myself. You can see Alright, there we go. So, yeah, this is the Wild Westerner. It's actually really not that bad. I think it's going to be a good driver once I get the little mechanical bugs worked out, and the electrical bugs worked out. This side is definitely a lot more solid. There's a weird dent. I'm curious. You guys can see that probably. How that got there, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, let's see if this is... Oh, that door was never closed right. Yeah, the doors actually line up surprisingly well. I don't think it's ever been hit. It's funny, 3 of the 4 wheels, actually 4 of the 4, plus the spare, all are still silver. The one, I think, just needs to be polished a little bit because it's a little rusty. But you open this door, and it opens like it should. And that works. That's been working. I just lubed it. But watch. You just push it, and it opens. My 78 Champagne does not work that well, and it has less wheels. It does. I need to pull the track cover and lube that and clean it. I can only open it this far. I can't take it all the way back to the bump stop because the track is a little rusted at the back, and I don't want to do any more damage until I can get the door off and fix it. But you guys can see pretty good in here. The headliner, surprisingly nice. There's one hole back there, right in the center. You can see the headliner where the dent on the roof has affected it. I think that's also probably why the dome light doesn't work now. It's funny, this bus did not have seatbelts in the back because it's still got the factory plugs, which is kind of interesting. Let me show you that down on the roof. I've never taken a picture of that. You guys can see that now. The metal's actually still springy, so that should pop right out once I get once I have my buddy come look at it, who's a bodywork guru, more than me, which is I'm just a mediocre welder. He actually can take a tiny little suction cup and probably make that just about perfect. And I don't even really care that much. I just want it pulled out the best I can. Yeah, so it's pretty much just a drunken rambling. You guys heard it run, you saw it drive. It stops better than my dad's 70 that had the brakes rebuilt about 2 months ago. I'm definitely going to go through this and just probably put in new rubber lines because that's what I'm most concerned about. The steels I saw from underneath are probably, I think they're probably like 1990s galvanized lines, which is a good thing for me because they're still solid. I think the majority of the rust on this bus is actually from it sitting between 98 and today, because pretty much every under window trim has just this crust that if you look underneath you can't see it, but I can. It's not like, it's a little pitted, but it's not like rotted through. So I have confidence that I should be able to grind it, convert it, put a little bit of sealant and primer on that, and make it work pretty well. But yeah, so this is Wild Westerner number 2203 208-895, I think. It's on the registry. Bill knows what number this thing is. I can't remember now. But it's getting there. It's getting going. I gotta figure out the big electrical problem right now is definitely the turn signals, and I'll actually show this to you guys. Maybe one of you can help me out here. So it's my understanding, at least from my experience on 78 and 66 bus, that the turn signal system and the four-way flasher system are intertwined. They run off the same relay. It's just a matter of switch position. So in the key on position, so the key's on, it should, when I turn the stalk, work. They should flash, but only that one light comes on. Off. That's the other way. So that's a right turn, none, left turn. The lane change function does work in both directions, so the contacts are good, I believe. And the canceling mechanism works. But that does not work. The actual relay is not clicking. I bought a new relay that's on the way with my first parts order. That's actually supposed to be here Wednesday. I'm not sure if that's the issue. It might be. I might not even have that relay in there currently. And then, okay, so in the off position, your four ways are supposed to work. This is the four-way flash switch in my hand. Probably can't even see that. Where's the... Oh no, there is no light. You would think that's supposed to be flashing. The cover's off because it's broken, and I just wanted to get that off. So I'm going to turn that off now. Turn the key back to the on position. You can see they work, or they come on. When I pull this knob, light kind of comes on and flickers. So the switch definitely needs to be cleaned. And occasionally, if I rock the switch around a little bit, I can get the light on the switch to light up for a second. Or, while the switch is out, I can get that to come on and off. So I'm thinking the relay might be bad. That is my hypothesis, because also when I use the try and just turn the turn signal on, it does not. Like the light on the outside, on the exterior, does not work in either direction. That's my theory on that. That's really the only electrical gremlin. Also, the reverse light doesn't work right now. I'm thinking that just might be a disconnected switch, or bad lights. And the high-low beam switch doesn't work. Let me show you that fuse box so one of you geniuses can tell me if I'm just completely missing that relay or if it needs to be replaced. I know on my 78 and the 66, there's a specific relay for the high-lows. So you can see I have these two relays, that's it, in this fuse box. None of my fuses are blown currently. But I'm thinking this one, this relay, that's my turn signal relay, and I think that's dead. And I'm betting this is the high-low beam relay, judging by its positioning right below that 16 amp fuse, because I think that 16 amp is the high-low beam. So maybe one of you guys can tell me what the part number is for that, and I can get that ordered. Oh, let me show you this little missing wire on my switch. Now that I have light, y'all can actually see this stuff. That's really handy. I can't see my screen though. Let me get this up. Okay, see that missing wire? I'll make sure I post in the comments the terminal number. What wire is supposed to go right there? Because I cannot find any loose wiring, and this still has all the factory zip tie, not factory zip ties, but factory like shielding and stuff, so no one's hacked on this thing. They've just added an aftermarket radio back in like 78. So that wire is missing. Also, let me pull this knob back out. I had this switch out earlier, and I put it back in just so I could use it easier. But I did also deoxit this to try and clean the rheostat. And you're going to see me do this the completely wrong way, and you're all going to cringe. But I really don't care at this point, because I just want to fix it. And I really don't care about the aesthetics. I'm going to pull this cover off. Oh my god, how did I do this? 4. Ugh, why am I such an idiot? Okay, there we go. Now let's move it. You can see the scratch that is from my venturing into the world of, pull that out so I can get a grip on it. There is a missing wire on this one too, and I have a feeling that that might also be related, but I cannot locate the wire that is associated to the switch. I cannot locate any loose wires at all with a spade terminal or a slide-on connector. Okay, switch is out. Y'all can see that terminal right in between those two wires is missing a wire, and that is number 30 on that one. So if anyone has any clue what is supposed to go there, I'd appreciate some help there. I'm going to stare at a wiring diagram tonight. Maybe I can find something out about that. Let me just see if I can find a number on this switch. Probably can't with my luck, but we'll find out. Because I have a feeling those two wires are related to why I have no anything currently. That terminal is number... See that terminal? This is the 4-way switch. That is number... Let me just put you guys down so I can read this correctly. Hold on. Do something incredibly stupid. I believe that says 41. Or... 40? I don't know. Where's my little... Hold on. Get my electrical cleaner. I'm sorry, this video was supposed to be a 2-minute running video. Now it's turned into a help me please, I'm a clueless Volkswagener. Let me try this again. That shit burns. Ow. Let's try this again. Number... Now I need a rag. Why do I do this to myself? Yeah, I have no idea what number that is, but maybe one of you guys can look at yours and tell me. And just so you know, when that thing gets pulled out, there isn't any light that comes on the knob, so I think there's something funky going on there. But yeah, so for those of you who stuck around this long, thank you. I appreciate your viewership, and I'm sure I will keep you all updated. So enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you later.